right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Get the Puck Out, brought to you by tarpsoffsports.com. I want to let you know that today's episode of Get the Puck Out is powered by Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over the technology developments to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide, and we have an exclusive offer to our Tarps Off Sports listeners, 20% off and free shipping. Use promo code TARPSOFF, all one word, TARPSOFF at manscaped.com. Works in Canada, works in the States. It's awesome. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and some wicked stuff there. We got like a ball toner, which is nice, and a bunch of other gear, which is wicked as well. And you know what? There is no better shaver in the game than Manscaped. Jack, I said it. I was like, you know what? It's 2021 outside. But after I used the Manscaped 3.0, between my legs, it was 2055, dude. My balls told me they saw Doc Brown and Marty McFly in the future. Manscaped is the future of men's grooming. This is the only tool you need. The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0, Jack. It's a beauty. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code TARPSOFF at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use promo code TARPS off, all one word. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job. Get the Puck Out is back. Jack, how's that for an ad read, buddy?
There we go. First ad read out of the way. You nailed it.
Yeah, tried my best there, guys. Shout out to Manscaped, 20% off and free shipping. Tarps off, promo code, get it. You won't regret it. Jack, speaking of won't regret it, we won't regret covering hockey on this beautiful day, man. There is definitely a lot to talk about. I want to start in the North Division, the Canadian Division. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been on a bit of a slump. Don't look like that same high-powered team, but you know what? It's not time to panic yet. They're still top of the division, tied with Edmonton, but still hold 2 games in hand. When you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jack, you can't help but think, and I know Kyle Dubas, their GM, came out and said that he wouldn't hesitate to move a prospect or a draft pick to bring in some help for this playoff run. Do you think they need to help on the back end, or do you think they need to kind of shore up the scoring a bit? I mean, listen, they're still the Leafs and they're still off high powered, but like Kapanen and Janssen are gone and you can kind of tell now.
I don't think that the offense is a bigger priority at all. I think the defense is the number one priority. They might want to get a small complimentary piece to, shore up that offense, but defense is what's going to be their Achilles heel if they are eliminated in the playoffs. And I also wouldn't push the panic button yet. Austin Matthews is definitely not playing at 100%. This team is going to be looking a lot better and firing on all cylinders come playoff time offensively. Defensively, they do need to make a move. They need to go out and get their defensemen. I mean, we've already listed off a bunch of good defensemen that they could go after here, but I mean, Savard would be my number one pick for who they should go after to shore up that back end and just get a small guy for that offense. You don't need to go grab a big name.
No, man, you don't have to. I think they just need to shore up someone maybe who can play in the bottom 9. And like you said, a guy like David Savard, can't stress that enough, would be incredible. Now I want to talk, Jack, in the division here. You got the Leafs, 42 points, Edmonton, 42 points. Third place, you got the Winnipeg Jets. They're at 38. Montreal holding on to 4th spot with 37 points. They're 2 points ahead of the Vancouver Canucks, but they have 4 games in hand. Calgary, the more likely maybe challenger for that spot. They have a new coach in there, which, can always kind of spark the boys sometimes. I know they lost the other night in Toronto, but we'll see how that all goes. And they're sitting at 33 points. The 3-4 spots, Jack, you got Vancouver in the mix, sort of, but they need to get back to winning. They have played the most games by far. And then Calgary with 33 points, sitting 4 points back. having played one more game than Montreal. Do you think the top four in the North Division is set, or do you think that we're going to see some movement out of the top four?
I think you could see a little bit of movement. I mean, Vancouver's always a wild card. It's a young team. They can be streaky. They can have a streak of dominance, and they can also have a streak of, oh wow, this team is lost. So I mean, that's what you get with a young team. It's a box of chocolates. You never know. But I could see some movement happening there. And then the Calgary Flames, I mean, they did get a new coach, so you would hope that they'll be more consistent. But I never have any faith in either of those teams in Alberta, whether it's the Edmonton Oilers or it's the Calgary Flames. I mean, the Oilers, they need to get a time machine at this trade deadline and go back and get a goalie this offseason, because that was, how do you have McDavid there and you can't get him solid goaltending? That team is going to go nowhere until they get a goaltender in net.
No, I agree with that, man. That's why I see a guy like Freddie Anderson, if he doesn't go back in Toronto, as a great fit in Edmonton. Jack, I'm going to disagree with you, though. I think Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal are the four teams that absolutely make it for one reason and one reason only. They're the only four teams in the North Division with a positive goal differential. The last Winnipeg has the least with a +9. Montreal's +13th at the fourth spot. But then when you look at the Vancouver Canucks in fifth, their goal differential -12. Calgary -10, and obviously Ottawa sitting way at the bottom there, -43 on the season, which is pretty awful in 33 games. Not gonna lie, but they're a team in transition. I have it actually staying just as it is, and I think now the position could switch, but I think that things will remain the same. Jack, now,
well, here, let me throw a wrench at you now. Do you think that Vancouver could be sellers at this trade deadline?
I don't think they'll necessarily be sellers, as much as I don't know if they're going to go out and buy. Maybe they would move an expiring contract if it made sense to get an asset back. I don't know. With Jim Benning and everything that he has on the line, which I think is like they were expected to make the playoffs, I think that they end up, trying to add a small piece. Tyler Toffoli goes off to Montreal, and he's just been a scoring machine. Mind you, he's out for the next 3 games, which is bad news for the Montreal Canadiens. But, we'll see what happens. I think they would like to replace a forward within that, again, kind of the same thing as Toronto, that bottom 6. They would like to be able to roll someone out maybe a little more consistently. Patrick Marleau, Jack, there's word of him in San Jose being willing. Again, he's already been there 3 times. He is willing to take a trade to a contender. I don't see how that would make sense for a team like the Leafs. However, if you're looking at a team like maybe the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers, that could make a little bit of sense there. I have heard, and a lot of people have heard, the Florida Panthers are actively trying to upgrade their roster. One of the teams out there that everybody is calling is the New Jersey Devils. They have something like 8 impending unrestricted free agents. There's going to be news one way or another on Kyle Palmieri coming soon. They love Palmieri. The organization loves Palmieri. Palmieri loves New Jersey. This is one of those things like you saw with Chris Kreider last year, where people were like, he's going to move, and bang, he stays. And maybe he even gets a couple more bucks from the team just for his loyalty. I wouldn't completely rule that out, but if Kyle Palmieri goes to market, the big teams in the Eastern Conference,
the Bruins would have to be calling.
If they would have to be calling, but they are focused on defense right now. Their biggest thing is they don't think that the forward group in Boston can't score because the forwards aren't talented enough. They feel like they're not creative and getting out of the zone and getting out of the zone at all efficiently. I know Don Sweeney is a big defense translates to offense kind of guy. I don't know if that's the right decision, but I do know Jake DeBrusk and Ekholm has been discussed. I think that Nashville maybe wants Boston to add a little. I don't think Boston really feels with him only having the rest of this season and next season to go. And, that giving them DeBrusk a team control asset, a kid who's shown he can score 25 to 30 goals if he can just put some consistency together. I think that trade makes a ton of sense. Maybe so much sense that it doesn't end up happening, Jack, but the Nashville Predators, I could see Arvidsson moving. There's been a lot of chatter with him, but Ekholm, it sounds like by all accounts, will move before the trade deadline. Another guy I wanted to talk about, his name has been out there crazy, and I just am over here right across the pond. The Buffalo Sabres, Eric Stahl.
Okay. I mean, I see him being a role player. I don't think he's the Eric Stahl that everybody is like
No, but
remembering from
dude, the
back in the
rumor out
day.
there is
But
the Carolina Hurricanes, according to Pierre LeBrun, I think it was, the Carolina Hurricanes have had the internal discussions about the possibility of bringing Eric Stahl back to the team at this trade deadline. Something to look to. Again, the Boston Bruins have tried to sign Eric Stahl every time he came up, tried to trade for him in the offseason. Don Sweeney really likes Eric Stahl's ability to play up the middle or on the wing. I know he's a veteran guy, wouldn't be the sexiest name in the world, but he is definitely a name that is going to be out there. And watch the Philadelphia Flyers. I know we say this every week, but there's definitely room for movement there. I don't know, man. I don't want to say something and look stupid, but I'm just going to say it. Like, Konechny, there was that scratch. There's been, I wonder if they could go for like an Ekholm Arvidsson package deal that sees Konechny go the other way. I mean, dude, I feel like we could see a couple actual high impact trades this deadline. I know they say that every year, but they're not really saying that this year, which is what makes me think it's going to happen. Remember, this offseason, Jack, was supposed to be the craziest offseason of all time. It was a fucking snooze fest.
I think teams have a lot less cap this trade deadline. It's going to be very hard to make moves. So I don't think we're going to see a giant blockbuster move, but you never know. I don't think we're going to see Konechny get moved, but I mean, hey, weirder stuff has happened in this. Yeah, weirder stuff has happened in this pandemic, and the asking price I'm hearing for Arvidsson is very high from what I've heard. The rumors, I saw NRD reported that it could be a high prospect or a first round pick, which makes me think, what is the price for Palmieri? What is the price for Ekholm? What is the price for all these guys if Arvidsson's that high? It's going to be tough to get deals done, I think, this trade deadline. I think we see a quieter trade deadline than in the past.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there, Jack. I think this will be maybe not as active as we've seen, but I think I'm going to disagree in the fact of, like, I think the names that do move are going to be pretty high quality household names. There's rumblings out there that New Jersey would eat half the money on the remainder of PK Subban's contract, which has already been eaten, right? So you've eaten the PK Subban contract down from like $10 million a year to $8 million a year. So if you offer a contending team PK Subban for $4 million a season, all of a sudden PK Subban doesn't sound so bad, Jack. So that's a name to watch come this trade deadline too. It doesn't matter the years. If you're only paying him $4 million, that's an attractive player at that price. Scary player at 10 and $8 million. Don't want to touch him with a 6-foot pole if that's my team. $4 million though, sign me up.
$4 million. Are you willing to stop calling him Lindsey Vohn's ex?
Yeah, if he came to Boston, I would stop calling him Lindsey Vohn's ex 100%. I would conform. I would conform 100%, man. Who else is out there? What other names do we got? Anybody, or is that it? As far as like the mainstay rumors, someone's going to buy low on Taylor Hall, I would imagine. I can't see that being a huge return, but that's an interesting option for a lot of teams.
And I've heard some smaller names like Joel Armina. I heard he also got put on the COVID list today after I heard his name in some rumors this morning. The PK Subban rumors that popped up today were crazy to me as well. I would stay away, but $4 million, I still think it's a little too much. How many years does PK Subban have left on that deal?
Oh man. I would have to say like maybe 5. Let's
see, I'm staying away from PK Subban at 5 years.
He signed an 8-year deal. Hold on.
Oh, we're hitting the cap friendly mid.
I'm hitting it midstream. People can wait if they want the information right. We'll get it right. Where is
so he's only signed through 2022. So I'm saying, you know what, hit me with PK Subban. Actually,
Absolutely, at half price and only like another year after this year on his contract. You hit that all day long.
Bang.
I didn't realize he still had. I can't believe how fast time goes, man. The older you get, it feels.
If there was 4 years left, I'm passing. I know you were going to take it anyway, but if it's only till 2022, sign me up for some PK Subban.
Yeah, man, I would be signed up for some PK Subban on that as well. Another interesting fact, Jack, just before we go here, I want to keep this episode kind of short. There's not a ton of stuff going. I feel like some stuff's going to happen this week and we're going to end up with another podcast at the end of the week. But the Buffalo Sabres, Connor McDavid has 60 points and like the Buffalo Sabres have 61 goals. Like he's almost outscored their entire team this season. Things are terrible in Buffalo, Jack. I just wanted to point that out.
That was just a random shot at Buffalo. Jesus.
It was a terrible shot.
That wasn't even a discussion point. That was just, you just shot Buffalo.
Yeah, you know what? They're terrible this year, and I think that they're in for a rude culture shock coming. And their fan base thinks they're going to get an answer from billionaire Kim Pagula. That's funny to see too. Guys, I want to ask you to hit that subscribe button below. And Jack, before we go here, I got a question that, I mean, hey, let's get the people at home to answer as well. Throw your answer down here in the comment section. Jack, would you rather Torrey Krug be your team's #1 defenseman for the next 3 years, or Patrick Kane be named the captain of Team USA for the next Olympics? Bang!
No. Oh, well, I guess like the US hasn't won the Olympics since 1980. They're probably not going to win anyway. So why not just one more year of Patrick Kane as the like captain or whatever? I can't deal with 3 more years of Torrey Krug. I mean, maybe to a team, maybe if you're asking this to someone that didn't have to watch Torrey Krug on their hockey team for as long as I did,
yeah,
maybe they take Torrey Krug, but I can't do that anymore.
No, I don't blame you, man. That's funny. I knew that was going to be a difficult question for you. Hopefully you bring the heat on the next episode when you ask me a little, would you rather, guys? Like I said, what I'd rather you do, hit that subscribe button. Let us know. Would you rather Torrey Krug be your team's #1 defenseman or Patrick Kane be named the captain of Team USA? Probably only a question if you're a fan of the American teams. If you're a Canadian fan, you probably don't give a shit, guys. Get the puck out. We'll be back next time. Tarpsoffsports.com. Remember, go on over to manscaped.com. Promo code TARPS off. Hit it. Quit it. We done.